Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing beneficial nematodes. Now, nematodes are a non-segmented roundworm that enters through the orifice of its prey and lets loose a bacteria and feeds off of that while it reproduces up in there. I think up to 3 or 4 generations. But also, first and foremost, this is Midwest Nursery, and by no means am I any type of professor. I've taken some horticultural classes. Integrated pest management was my most beneficial course through that, but I am not any scientific person. I'm just giving some experience, references some of my own experiences. So if you got some questions or comments for all the haters out there prior to the haterism, just letting you guys know that. But let's get back to what we're doing. So these are the things we're going to need to do this whole run. A microscope, at least a 10-time microscope. You're going to need 60 millimeter and also 100 millimeter Petri dishes. And we'll get to that. You'll also need some Petri dishes. Oh, I'm sorry. These are actually the filter paper for the Petri dishes, the 60 millimeter. These come in 56 millimeter. I couldn't find 60 millimeter. These come from Stony Labs. I'll try and leave a link in the description for these fellas. And we also will need wax worms. I noticed these come from, I got these at this local pet store, Bug Company. The Bug Company is where they come from. We're also going to need the tissue flasks. I get a bunch of them. They stack up, and store them that way. But you need those tissue flasks. You're going to need some deionized distilled water. Here on my property, I use well water, so I'm good in that area. So I do believe that is it. And so the 4 steps to actually getting this process going is doing your population density count, and then you're going to infect your host. After that, you'll create a Whitetrap. We'll discuss what all that is, and then you are going to actually harvest the nematodes from your Whitetrap. First, what you end up doing is, now I've already done the infecting, and today we're actually going to create my Whitetraps. I'm going to show you actually, and truly, this is actually an experiment. I've never infected host with a triple threat, which is 3 different species, because you have the don't get me all tongue twisted on all of these, but you have your Steinernema family, which is the Feltiae, the Carpocapsae, the Rio Brave, and then you have your H-back, which is the hetero. I'm not even going to try and do that. Okay, I'll get to that later. Once again, I'm not studied on this stuff, but I have a little experiment. This is probably about my 6th or 7th time actually rearing my own cycles of beneficial. But once again, this is an experiment because I'm using this. I actually had to go to my local hydro store because I needed these right on time, and they're a triple blend. And these say they work for grubs, fungus, gnats, fleas, moths, flies, and such and such. You can also use the SF, which is the Feltiae, the Steiner, oh snap, the Steinernema Feltiae, the SF. Those are the ones that are really the best for fighting, say, thrips. So they do other things by size, just the flies, the moths, the grubs, fungus, gnats, and fleas. They also do thrips and another assortment of soil or root-borne larvae and such. So after stating that fact that this is a little experiment once again. So I'm going to show you what, and when you infect these, let me start back here, okay? What you want to do, also you need a pipette. I have a microliter pipette, And usually what you want to do is, once again, I've already gone through this step. You'll take your microliter pipette and you will extract whatever microliters, so you want to take out 50 microliters, and you put it in the bottom of a, you can see it has a little graph on there. This particular Petri dish has a graft. And then what you're going to do is, after you put that particular microliter amount of nematodes in your Petri dish, you're going to fill it up. You fill the bottom up with water and put it under a microscope, and you're going to count all of the live all the live nematodes that you're going to see in there, and then that's where you're going to get your count from. Well, it's a whole nother. There's a whole way to calculate it. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to get into specifics of that. But once again, I've already gone through that. But that's what you do, and then you'll infect each host with a certain. They usually want to have like 20 nematodes per host. So I actually have 6 hosts per arena of infection. So if that's the case, I would want to have at least 120 nematodes in that infection arena to have a proper amount of IJs, which is the infected juveniles, which release and continue the cycle. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you these. I've already been infected for a week, because that's you're going to infect them for a week. They'll sit in here, and then you'll put them in the Whitetrap. We're going to create a Whitetrap today. They'll sit in the Whitetrap for 3 weeks. Then you'll harvest them and put them in a tissue flask. And from there, they can sit in there for 3 weeks, and then you're going to do the whole process again. And usually they all I don't want to drop them, but you can see they tend to infect their hosts and create different colors. So I can see the different colors. Some of them are darker. Ooh, lordy. Some of them are darker. Some of them are lighter. You can see, but we definitely have a decent infection rate. So what we're going to do now real quick, I'm going to put these over here and these out of the way, and I can bring all of my bottoms, over here. Okay. So I'm missing a few steps here, because once again, you want to actually, not missing a step, but I want to let you know, you want to actually, mark each one. Like if I'm using the 3 different species, I will mark each Petri dish, the species, the date that I'm infecting and whatnot, so I can keep track of which is which and the date we infected, so we know the date to make the Whitetrap. So, bam. So once again, I'm going to show you a couple of these up close. Once again, this is the triple threat, and you can see one of these are like one of them in there is a little lighter, and you can see, and a lot of them are darker. Some get the dark brown, some get the tin. Once again, it depends on the species. But since we don't, I'm not separating them. I'm just going through and seeing what we get. Once I get them in, harvest a Whitetrap, I'll put them under the microscope and look at the population and see what we got. But once again, this is a little experiment, see what we got going on. We'll make another video to tell you or show you the progress after the Whitetrap is complete. So I'll put each one of these. So to create the Whitetrap, I take each, because like I say, these have a cap on them. I'll take each cap off and sit these in the bigger Petri dish, which is the 100 millimeter Petri dish, and I'll fill up the bottom with water. So I'll bring you in a little closer and let you take a look-see at this. So you can see this is what it looks like. It's just floating in there in the water. We'll put those away, and put those into storage for 3 weeks or so, and you'll see it'll come out. It'll look like the water will turn all foggy looking. Like you can tell. You can tell when you have a successful breeding into your white trap. So go ahead and fill up the rest of these. So basically, that's really it. Each one of these will store. You can store them in room. I store them in room temperature. Like I say, I got a little box. I'll just put them in. Put them in a box and put them off to the side and let them do their thing. So basically, that's it. You know what I mean? And these beneficial nematodes will make your world of growing a complete different flow if you have any type of problems. Because a lot of people will see their plants start to yellow and they know, man, they don't have a nutrient imbalance. They know their pH is at the right right spot. The water temperature is correct and all of the above, but yet they still seem to have a problem because you will not see damage to the root zone from fungus gnats in your room. Back in the day when I was growing, I'd see fungus gnats and I think, okay, I ain't worried about those because they don't do any harm to the plant. I didn't have the education, understanding the fact that it's the larval stage in the root zone feeding off of the roots, which inhibits the plant from uptaking nutrients. I don't care how correct your nutrient balance is. I don't care how correct your pH is. You will not get those nutrients to your plants and have healthy, strong plants that produce large harvests because they're not getting those nutrients due to the damage from the larval stage of whatever pest you're having. So, man, when you start using the nematodes, it's lovely. And then once again, once you're breeding your own, you don't have to go to the store. That first purchase, you can continue to cycle on and on. I broke my cycle due to different business ventures, but we're back on the ball. So we'll give you another update. So in about 3 weeks, when we're ready to check on these traps. You know what I mean? We're going to be checking off traps, baby. But glad that you guys want to check this out. It's a real beneficial. By the way, I want to big up Michigan State Universities, where I found my first video on YouTube about nematodes. It really helped me form the way I do it. But there's also other programs out there. But I'll put a link in the description for the different tools that I use, the Michigan State University website that you can pull information from, and so forth. But once again, please support my channel. Trying to get this going. This is probably my fifth video or so. But we're going to get traction and bring some more content. So like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. All right, thanks.